The large alien ship appeared in Earth's sky on a quiet Tuesday morning. It hung there, silent and still, like a dark cloud that would not move. People all over the world looked up and pointed. Some ran, some hid, but most just watched and waited. In Seoul, Captain Jung Kim stood at attention as the world's leaders talked in hurried voices. As one of South Korea's top soldiers, he had been called to this meeting at once. "They have asked to meet with us," said the president. "We need our best people there." Jun did not want this job. He was a soldier, not a talker. But orders were orders. 3 days later, Jun stood with 20 other people from around the world in a large field. They waited for the aliens to come down from their ship. Jun kept his face calm, but his hand stayed close to his gun. "Stop touching your weapon," whispered Dr. Song beside him. "We cannot look afraid." Jun moved his hand away, but stayed ready. The ship above them opened, and a smaller craft floated down. It landed without a sound, and a door slid open. The aliens did not look as strange as Jun had feared. They stood on 2 legs and had 2 arms, but their skin was pale blue, and their eyes were large and black. They wore what looked like armor, but it moved like cloth. One alien stepped forward. It was taller than the others. "I am Krell, voice of the galactic hegemony," it said in perfect Korean. Jun tried not to show his surprise. "We come in peace to welcome Earth into our family of worlds." The meetings went on for days. The aliens, who called themselves the hegemony, spoke of trade and friendship. They showed amazing technology and promised to share some of it. They talked about their empire of 10,000 worlds. Jun did not trust them. Something in their black eyes seemed cold. He watched Krell closely and saw how the alien looked at humans, like they were interesting bugs. "You seem troubled, Captain Kim," Krell said to him after a week of talks. "I am just careful," Jun said. "This is all very new to us." Krell's mouth moved in what might have been a smile. "Caution is wise, but the hegemony has helped many young worlds grow. Earth has much to gain from our friendship." That night, Jun called his sister Hyun. She worked in a lab studying living things. "The aliens gave us some of their blood and tissue to study," Hyun told him. "It's strange, Jun. Their cells are so different from ours. They can't heal quickly like we can. Even a small cut might take them weeks to fix." "Is that important?" Jun asked. "I don't know yet," she said, "but it's interesting." 2 months passed. The world changed fast. Hegemony ships came and went. They set up a base on the moon. They gave Earth new medicines and cleaner power. People began to think of them as friends. But Jun still watched. He saw how the aliens only gave certain kinds of help. They would not share their best weapons or their fastest ships. They asked many questions but gave few real answers. One day, Jun overheard 2 aliens talking when they thought no one was near. "These humans adapt too quickly," one said. "The council is concerned." "They are still primitive," the other answered. "They have no idea what they truly are." The old stories say. The old stories are just that, stories. These creatures are no threat to us. Not if we handle them correctly. Jun walked away quietly. That night, he wrote down everything he had seen and heard that seemed wrong. The list was long. "What are you not telling us?" he whispered, looking up at the stars where alien ships now moved freely. "And what do you mean, what we truly are?" He did not know that very soon he would find out. And when he did, nothing would ever be the same again. 6 months had passed since the aliens first came to Earth. Things had changed fast. Shiny new buildings stood in every big city. Strange flying cars moved through the sky. People used small alien tools to fix broken bones in minutes. Jun now worked as a go-between for Earth leaders and the hegemony. Each day, he met with aliens and helped make deals. Each night, he wrote down things that did not seem right. Today, he sat across from Krell in a tall glass building in Seoul. "Your people learn quickly," Krell said. "The council is surprised." "Is that good?" June asked. Krell's black eyes showed nothing. It is unusual. Most species take years to understand even simple hegemony tools. June nodded but said nothing. He had learned to wait for Krell to fill the quiet with more words. We will be bringing more advanced items next month, Krell said after a moment. But first, we need to test your people's readiness. That night, June drove to his sister's lab. Hyun worked late. As always, when he found her, she was looking at a screen full of small moving dots. Alien blood cells, she said when she saw him. Watch what happens when I add human blood. On the screen, the human cells moved toward the alien cells and seemed to study them. Then, slowly, the human cells started to change shape. They are copying the alien cells, Jun said, surprised. Hyun nodded. Human cells can learn and change. Alien cells cannot. I showed this to my hegemony teacher last week. The next day, they took away half of my lab tools and told me to work on something else. June felt cold inside. They don't want you to study this. No, they don't. But why? Later that week, June was walking to his car when his phone made a strange noise. It was not a call or a message. The screen showed a map with a blinking dot. Curious, he followed it. The dot led him to an old building by the river. Inside, he found a small metal box. It opened when he touched it. Inside was a simple message. The hegemony lies. Meet me at the old temple. Come alone. June was not stupid. This could be a trap. But his gut told him to go. The old temple was dark and empty. June waited for an hour. He was about to leave when a shadow moved. Captain Kim, said a voice. Thank you for coming. A figure stepped into the dim light. It was an alien, but not like the others. This one was smaller, with green skin instead of blue. I am Rek. I work for, let us call it a different group within the hegemony. I have come to warn you. About what? June asked. Your people are in danger. The council has decided humans are too unpredictable. They fear what you might become. What does that mean? Mrek looked around nervously. The council has approved the Terran containment protocol. Do you understand? They will not allow Earth to develop freely. Before June could ask more, Mrek stiffened. A thin line of blue light crossed his throat, and he fell. June dropped to the ground as more blue lights cut through the air above him. Run, the voice shouted. June looked up to see his friend and security aide, Tae, firing a gun at something in the shadows. June crawled toward the back door. Go, Ta shouted. I'll hold them. June ran into the night as sounds of fighting echoed behind him. He drove straight to Hyun's apartment. Pack what you need, he told his sister. We're not safe anymore. What happened? She asked, already moving to get her things. The hegemony has a plan called the Terran Containment Protocol. I think they're going to kill our leaders and take control. Hyun stopped packing. That's why they don't want me studying human cells. June, I think I know what they're afraid of. What? Us. Just being human. 3 days after running from the temple, June and Hyun watched the news in a small hotel room. They had paid cash and used fake names. The President of France died last night in her sleep, said the TV reporter. Doctors say it was a heart attack. That's the third world leader this week, Hyun said quietly. June nodded. It's starting. His phone rang. It was a number he didn't know. He answered carefully. Captain Kim. The voice was weak. It's Ta. Ta. You're alive. Where are you? Not for long. I'm at the old fishing dock. Come quickly. I have information. June told Hyun to stay in the room. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone but me. The fishing dock was empty when June arrived. Most boats were out for the day. He found Ta behind some old boxes. His friend was badly hurt. Blue marks covered his skin. Alien weapons, Ta whispered when he saw June looking at the marks. They burned from the inside. Who attacked you? The hegemony. Ta nodded. After you left the temple, I killed 2 of them. But there were more. I heard them talking. The Terran containment protocol is already happening. They're killing our leaders and replacing them with copies. Copies? Like clones? I don't know. Ta coughed and blue liquid came from his mouth. But the copies look just like our leaders. They talk the same. No one can tell the difference. But they do whatever the hegemony wants. Jun tried to help Ta stand. We need to get you to a doctor. No time. Ta pushed a small metal disc into Jun's hand. This has files I stole from a hegemony computer. It explains why they fear us. Why do they fear us, Ta? We're so much weaker than they are. Ta smiled weakly. Are we? The files say humans have something special. Our cells. They can change. Adapt. No other species in the galaxy can do this as well as we can. They're afraid of what we might become. Tae's eyes began to close. His breathing slowed. Stay with me, Ta, Jun shouted. One more thing, Ta whispered. There's a secret base. In the mountains. Old military bunker. Code is, your mother's birthday. Other survivors are there. Go. Those were his last words. Jun's friend died in his arms. Jun wanted to bury Ta properly, but there was no time. He said a quick prayer and covered the body with an old tarp. Then he ran back to his car. When he reached the hotel, something felt wrong. The front door was open. Inside, things were too quiet. Jun took out his gun and slowly climbed the stairs. The door to their room was broken. Inside, chairs were knocked over. There had been a fight. Hyun, he called softly. No answer. But on the bed was a message written in lipstick. They came. Ran to Plan B. Plan B meant the old lab where Hyun used to work. Jun drove there fast, watching for anyone following him. The lab was dark. Jun entered through a back door that only a few people knew about. He found Hyun in a small room, working on a computer. They came for us, she said without looking up. 3 of them. They looked human, but they moved. Wrong. Are you hurt? No, I got out through the bathroom window. But they're looking for us, Jun. And I know why. She turned the computer screen to show him. I've been studying the samples more. Human cells don't just adapt. They remember. Every cut that heals, every disease we fight. Our cells learn and get stronger. The hegemony can't do this. Their cells are fixed. They can't change. Jun thought about what Tai had said. So they're afraid we'll become too strong. Yes, and there's more. I think we used to be stronger. Much stronger. Something in our past. Something we've forgotten. Suddenly, alarms sounded throughout the building. They found us, Jun said. We need to go. Now. Jun drove fast through the night. Hyun sat beside him, holding a small bag of lab equipment and the metal disc from Ta. They had escaped the lab just as strange black cars pulled up outside. We need to get to the mountains, Jun said. The old military bunker. How do you know about this bunker? Hyun asked. Ta told me before he died. He said other survivors are there. They drove for 3 hours, leaving the city far behind. The mountain roads were rough and dark. Finally, they reached a small path that normal people would miss. There, Jun pointed. Behind those trees, a large rock face appeared as they turned. It looked solid, but Jun knew better. He got out and found a hidden panel. He entered his mother's birthday, 517. The rock slid open. Inside was a tunnel with dim lights. They drove in, and the rock closed behind them. At the end of the tunnel, they found a large open space cut into the mountain. Cars were parked there. People moved around with purpose. Some carried guns. Others worked on computers. A man walked up to them. He was tall with a serious face. Captain Kim, he said with a nod. I'm Min. Former intelligence. Ta told us you might come. How many people are here? Jun asked, looking around. 27 now. Military, scientists, government workers, all people who noticed something wrong and escaped before the hegemony could get them. Min led them deeper into the bunker. Rooms branched off from a main hall. Some had beds, others had equipment. We've been gathering information, Min said. The hegemony has replaced at least 50 important people around the world. Presidents, generals, scientists. The copies do whatever the aliens want. How are they making these copies? Hyun asked. That's what she's working on, Min said, pointing to a room ahead. Inside, a woman worked on what looked like alien technology. She was taking it apart and putting it back together in new ways. Da, Min called. These are the Kims. The woman looked up. Finally, I've been waiting for you. Dae was a quantum physicist. She had been working with hegemony tech for months. They've been careful about what they share with us, she explained, always giving us just enough to make us want more, but never enough to really understand how their technology works. But you figured something out? June asked. Dae smiled. Yes, I've built this. She pointed to a small device on the table. What is it? Hyun asked. A way to talk that the hegemony can't hear. It uses quantum fields instead of radio waves. With this, we can connect with other resistance groups around the world. June told them everything he knew about the Terran containment protocol. Hyun shared her discoveries about human cells. Min and Da listened carefully. So that's why they fear us, Min said when they finished. Our potential. We need to know more, Da said. Hyun, can you use my lab to continue your research? Yes, but I need test subjects. People willing to try to push their limits. I'll do it, Jun said at once. Me too, Min added. For the next week, they worked day and night. Da built more communication devices. Hyun studied how human cells responded to stress. Min gathered information from other resistance groups. One night, Jun couldn't sleep. He found Da still working in her lab. Why don't you rest? He asked. Because they're still out there, she said without looking up. And they're getting bolder. Look at this. She showed him a message from a resistance group in America. The hegemony had started building something big in orbit around Earth. What is it? June asked. We don't know yet, but it's not good. They're moving faster than we expected. June thought for a moment. We need to stop hiding and start fighting back. How? They're stronger than us. They have better weapons. Maybe. But they wouldn't be trying to stop us if they weren't afraid of something. We need to find out what that something is and use it against them. Dad looked at him with new respect. You're right. It's time to hunt the hunters. The next morning, Jum called everyone together. 27 faces looked at him, waiting. Today, he said, we stop running. Today, we start the real fight. 2 weeks passed in the mountain bunker. Each day, the resistance grew stronger. 10 more people found their way to them. Each one brought new skills and information. Jum trained with Min every morning. They pushed their bodies hard, trying to find their limits. In the afternoons, Hyun would test their blood and muscle tissues. Look at this, Hyun said one day, pointing to her screen. Your cells are changing. They're getting stronger. Is that good? June asked, wiping sweat from his face. It's amazing. I've never seen cells adapt this quickly. That evening, an old man arrived at the bunker. He was small and walked with a cane, but his eyes were sharp. He said his name was Han, and he had been a keeper of old books at a temple. I heard you were looking for information about human abilities, he told Hyun. I brought these. Han opened his bag and took out several old books. They were written in ancient Korean. Some of the pages were yellow with age. These are records from 500 years ago, Han explained. They tell stories of special warriors who could do amazing things. Min looked doubtful. Like what? They could jump over walls, break stones with their hands. Some could even heal from terrible wounds in just days. Those are just stories, Min said. Myths. Han shook his head. No, these are not stories. These are records kept by temple monks. They wrote down what they saw with their own eyes. Hyun carefully turned the pages. These describe training methods, ways to focus energy in the body. Yes, Han said. The old ways, ways that have been forgotten. That night, Hyun couldn't sleep. She read the old books for hours. When morning came, she called everyone together. I think I understand now, she said. These books describe humans doing things we think are impossible today. But what if they weren't impossible then? What if humans used to be able to do these things? What changed? Dai asked. I think we've been held back. Maybe for a very long time. Hyun looked at each person in the room. The alien samples I've studied show something interesting. Their technology can send signals that make human cells slow down. Stop growing. Stop changing. You think the hegemony has been keeping us weak? June asked. Yes. Maybe for hundreds of years. Maybe even longer. The room was quiet as everyone thought about this. If that's true, Min said slowly, then we might be able to break free of their control. I think we already are. Hyun said. Being away from cities, away from their main technology. I think we're already starting to change back to what we should be. Jun remembered how he had been feeling stronger each day. At first, he thought it was just from training. But what if it was more? I want to try something, he said. He walked to a metal bar used for pull-ups. It was made of solid steel. Jun gripped it with both hands, closed his eyes, and focused his mind the way Han had described in the old books. Then he bent the bar. Everyone stared. The steel bar was now curved where Jun had bent it. That's impossible, Min whispered. No, Han said with a smile. That's human. Later that day, Day received a message on her special communication device. It was from a resistance group in Europe. The hegemony has sent someone new to Earth, she told the others. Someone called Vex. He's their top enforcer. What does that mean? Jun asked. It means they're sending their best killer, Min said grimly. They must know we're becoming stronger. Hyun looked worried. We need more time. We're just starting to understand what we can do. Time is the one thing we don't have, Jun said. According to this, Vex has already landed, and he's brought a team of elite assassins with him. To hunt us? Dai asked. Yes, but they don't know one thing. Jun looked at the bent metal bar. We're not the same humans they think we are. We're becoming what we were always meant to be. That night, as the resistance slept, 12 black ships landed silently in the forests around the mountain. The hunt had begun. Jun woke to the sound of an alarm. Red lights flashed in the bunker. Min burst into his room. They found us, Min said. 12 ships surrounding the mountain. Jun jumped out of bed and grabbed his gun. How did they find us? I don't know, but they're coming in fast. They ran to the main room where others were already gathering. Dad worked quickly on her computers. I've shut down the main entrance, she said, but they have tools that can cut through rock. We have maybe 20 minutes. We need to get everyone out, Jun said. He turned to the group. Is the back tunnel clear? Han nodded. Yes, it leads out to the far side of the mountain. But it's a narrow path. We'll be easy targets if they spot us. Jun thought quickly. We need to split up. Some of us stay and fight to give the others time to escape. I'll stay, Min said without hesitation. Me too, said Da. No, Jun shook his head. We need your brain, not your gun. Go with the others. Keep working on the communication system. Hyun grabbed her brother's arm. Jun, you can't stay. They'll kill you. Maybe not, he said, thinking of the bent metal bar. We're stronger now, and they don't know it yet. In the end, Jun, Min, and 3 others stayed behind. The rest escaped through the back tunnel, taking all the important research and equipment they could carry. Hyun was the last to leave. She hugged her brother tightly. Find us at the backup spot. Don't be a hero. I won't, June promised. Now go. As soon as the others were gone, June and his small team prepared for the fight. They turned off all lights except the red emergency ones. They hid behind boxes and equipment. They waited. The first explosion came 20 minutes later. The main door blew open in a shower of rock and metal. Smoke filled the entrance. Wait, Min whispered. Let them come to us. Dark shapes moved through the smoke. They weren't human. Their bodies were too tall, too thin. They carried strange weapons that glowed blue. Hegemony Special Forces, Min said softly. Elite killers. The aliens moved slowly, checking each corner. There were 8 of them. Behind them came another figure. This one was different, taller than the others, with armor that seemed to bend light around it. That must be Vex, June whispered. One of the aliens spoke in a harsh voice. We know you are here, humans. Your resistance is noted but futile. Surrender now. Nobody moved. Nobody answered. Very well, the alien said. Find them. The aliens spread out. One came close to where Min was hiding. Min held his breath, waiting. When the alien was just 2 steps away, Min jumped out. He moved faster than June had ever seen a human move. Before the alien could raise its weapon, Min had knocked it to the ground and taken its gun. The strange blue weapon felt wrong in Min's hands, but he fired it anyway. Blue light shot across the room and hit another alien in the chest. It fell without a sound. The room erupted in chaos. Blue lights flashed everywhere. June fired his own gun, hitting an alien in the head. It dropped to the floor. Min took down another one. The resistance fighters were moving with incredible speed and strength. They were winning. Then Vex stepped forward. He raised his hand, and a wave of force knocked everyone backward. June flew through the air and hit a wall hard. His vision blurred. When he could see again, he watched in horror as Vex walked up to Min, who was trying to stand. Vex grabbed Min by the throat and lifted him off the ground. Interesting, Vex said in a cold voice. You are stronger than expected, but still too weak. Min struggled. His face turned red. Then, with a final burst of strength, he grabbed Vex's arm and twisted. There was a crack of breaking bone. Vex let out a scream of pain and dropped Min. Run, Min shouted to June. I'll hold them. June wanted to stay and fight, but he knew Min was right. Someone had to warn the others about Vex. He turned and ran for the back tunnel. Behind him, he heard more fighting, more shots, then a final, terrible explosion. The mountain shook as June ran into the night. June ran through the forest for hours. His legs should have been tired, but they weren't. His lungs should have burned, but they didn't. The changes in his body were real. He moved faster and stronger than ever before. By morning, he reached the backup meeting place. It was an old fishing village on the coast, far from any city. Small houses stood empty. The fishing boats rocked gently in the water. Hyun ran to him when he appeared. June, you made it. She hugged him tight. Where is Min? The others? June shook his head. They didn't make it. Min saved me. He was amazing. Stronger than I've ever seen a human be. Day walked up to them. Like you. Look at yourself, June. You ran all night through mountains. You're not even tired. He looked at his hands. They were scratched from branches and rocks, but as he watched, the cuts began to close. Within minutes, they were gone. We're healing faster, Hyun said. All of us. And getting stronger every day. The old books were right. Later, they gathered in one of the empty houses. 20 people sat in a circle. They were all that was left of the resistance. We need a new plan, Jun said. We can't just hide anymore. The hegemony will find us again. I think I know what we need to do, Da said. She opened a small bag and took out a strange device. It was made of alien metal and glowed softly. I took this from the bunker before we left. It's a hegemony data core. What's on it? Han asked. Information, history, things they don't want us to know. Day spent the next day working on the device. Finally, she called everyone together again. I found something, she said. Her face was pale. The truth about Earth, about us. She showed them images from the device, strange pictures of tall buildings and flying ships. But they weren't alien. They were human. These are from Earth, Daz said. From long ago. Very long ago. That's impossible, someone said. Humans didn't have that technology in the past. We did, Daz said quietly. Over 10,000 years ago, humans were advanced. More advanced than we are now. We had ships that could travel to the stars. The room was silent. June stared at the images. What happened? The hegemony happened, Dai said. They found us. They feared us. Humans were different from all other species they had met. We adapted quickly. We learned fast. We were strong. She showed more images. Battles in space. Strange weapons firing. There was a war, Dai continued. Humans fought well. But the hegemony was bigger. They had more ships, more worlds. In the end, they didn't kill us. They did something worse. What? Han asked. They changed us. They put something in Earth's air, in our water. Something that made us forget. Something that made us weak. They took away our technology and watched us from afar. For thousands of years, they've been making sure we stay primitive, stay weak. June thought about the bent metal bar, about Min breaking Vex's arm. But it's wearing off now. We're remembering who we really are. Yes, Dan nodded. That's why they're so afraid. That's why they sent assassins. They know what we could become again. One of the resistance fighters spoke up. But why now? Why did they suddenly come to Earth with their ships? Because we were getting too close, Daz said. Our technology was advancing too fast. Soon we would have found their monitoring stations on the Moon, on Mars. They couldn't hide anymore, so they decided to take direct control. So what do we do now? Han asked. June stood up. We take the fight to them. We've been running and hiding. Now we attack. How? Someone asked. They have spaceships, weapons we can't match. We don't need to match them, June said. We just need to show the world what they really are. And what we really are. Outside, the sun was setting. Somewhere up there, the hegemony watched. But they were no longer watching helpless prey. They were watching the awakening of their greatest fear. 3 days passed as the resistance planned their attack. Dai worked on the alien technology they had stolen. Hyun continued to study the changes in their bodies. June trained the others to fight. Look at this, Hyun said on the morning of the 4th day. She pointed to her computer screen. Our cells are changing even faster now. It's like they remember what they used to be. Is that why we're getting stronger? June asked. Yes, and faster. And our brains are working better too. We're becoming what humans were meant to be. That night, as they sat around a small fire, Han told stories from the old books. Tales of warriors who could jump over walls and move faster than the eye could see. They no longer sounded like myths. The old books say the greatest warriors could even feel the energy of life around them. Han said, they could sense others from far away. June closed his eyes and tried to feel what Han described. At first, there was nothing. Then, slowly, he began to sense something. The people around him felt like warm lights in his mind. And beyond them, he jumped to his feet. Someone's coming. Many people. Everyone looked at him in surprise, but they had learned to trust their new abilities. They quickly put out the fire and grabbed their weapons. How many? Dai asked. June focused. 10, no 12. Coming from the east. Hegemony troops. I don't think so. They feel human. They waited in the darkness. Soon, they heard footsteps. A group of people walked into the village. They carried guns but didn't point them. We're looking for Jun Kim, a woman called out. Who are you? June asked, staying hidden. My name is Sun. I was with the resistance in Japan. Min sent us a message before he died. He told us to find you. Slowly, June stepped out where they could see him. Prove you're human. The woman smiled and held up her hand. A small flame appeared above her palm. Would an alien copy be able to do this? The new group joined them. They'd brought food, weapons, and news. The hegemony is getting desperate, Sun told them as they ate. They put something in orbit around Earth. A big ship, bigger than anything they've shown us before. A weapon? June asked. We think so. They're threatening to use it if humans don't stop resisting. Day looked up from her computer. I found something about it in the data core. It's called a cleanser. It can change a planet's air to kill certain types of life. They would kill everyone on Earth. Hun asked, shocked. No, Daz said. They need Earth. They just want to get rid of us. The ship can target only humans and leave everything else alive. The room went quiet. Then June spoke. We need to stop that ship. How? Sun asked. It's in space. We can't reach it. June looked at Da. The hegemony has ships on Earth. At their main base. If we could steal one. That's crazy, someone said. Their base is too well guarded. Not if they're busy somewhere else, June said. He began to explain his plan. The next day, resistance groups all over the world started small attacks on hegemony outposts. They were not trying to win. They just needed to distract the aliens. Meanwhile, June led a small team toward the main hegemony base in what used to be New York. They moved at night, using their new abilities to stay hidden. The command ship will be there, Daz said as they looked at the base from a distance. The one Krell uses, it can reach orbit. How do we get in? Hyun asked. We don't, Jum said. They'd bring us in. He explained the final part of his plan. It was dangerous, maybe impossible, but no one had a better idea. That night, Jum, Hyun, and Dai walked out into the open. Hegemony lights found them immediately. Alarms sounded. Now we surrender, Jum said quietly. When the alien guards came, the three humans put their hands up. They did not fight. They did not run. Take us to Krell, Jun said. We have information about the resistance. The guards looked at each other, then put energy cuffs on the humans. They were marched into the heart of the alien base, just as Jun had planned. What the aliens didn't know was that being captured was exactly what Jun wanted. Jun, Hyun, and Dae were taken deep into the hegemony base. Guards with blue guns walked on all sides of them. The energy cuffs hurt their wrists, but they did not complain. The inside of the base looked like a metal city. Aliens of different types walked the halls. Some looked almost human. Others were very strange, with too many arms or eyes. Finally, they reached a large room with a chair in the center. Krell sat there, watching them with his black eyes. Captain Kim, Krell said, I have been waiting to meet you again. Hello, Krell, Jun said calmly. Nice place you have here. Krell made a sound that might have been a laugh. You humans always joke when you are afraid. Who says I'm afraid? Krell stood up and walked closer. You should be. Your little resistance has been annoying. But it ends today. Our cleanser is ready. Soon, humans will be gone from this planet. Why do you hate us so much? Hyun asked. What did we ever do to you? Krell turned to look at her. You existed. That was enough. Your kind are too dangerous to allow in the galaxy again. Again? Dai asked, pretending she didn't know. Yes. Your ancestors were a problem for us. We fixed that problem long ago. We will fix it again today. Krell pressed a button on his arm. Prepare my ship. I wish to watch the cleansing from orbit. Guards took the three humans to a large ship. They were put in a small room with a force field door. The ship began to move. They could feel it rising into the air. It's working, Jun whispered. They're taking us to the cleanser. What now? Dai asked. These cuffs block most of our abilities. Hyun closed her eyes. Not all of them. The hegemony doesn't know what we can really do now. She focused hard on the cuffs. Her face turned red with effort. Then, slowly, her hands began to change. They became thinner, narrower. With a quick pull, she slipped free of the cuffs. How did you do that? Da gasped. I told my cells to change shape, like they used to be able to do. Hyun quickly freed the others. Jun felt the ship slowing down. We've reached orbit. We need to move now. Using his new senses, Jun could feel where the aliens were on the ship. He led them through back passages until they reached the control room. 2 guards stood at the door. Ready? Jun asked. Hyun and Da nodded. They moved faster than humans had moved in 10,000 years. Before the guards could raise their weapons, they were on the floor, unconscious. Inside the control room, Krell stood with 3 other aliens. They all turned in surprise when the doors opened. Impossible, Krell said. How did you? He didn't finish. Jun was already across the room, his hand on Krell's throat. Listen carefully, Jun said. We're taking control of this ship now. One of the aliens reached for a weapon. Dai was there in a flash, grabbing his arm. She touched the ship's controls with her other hand. To everyone's surprise, the controls lit up and responded to her. I can connect with the technology, she said, amazed. It's like I can talk to it with my mind. That's not possible, Krell gasped. Only the creators could do that. The creators? Hyun asked. The first species to reach the stars. Long gone now. Their abilities were unique. Jun looked at Da, then at Hyun, then back at Krell. Maybe they're not gone. Maybe they just forgot who they were for a while. Understanding dawned in Krell's black eyes. No, it cannot be. Humans are not. You cannot be. Call off the cleanser, Jun said. Now. When Krell hesitated, Jun squeezed tighter. Now. Krell pressed a button on the control panel. This is High Commander Krell. Abort the cleansing. I repeat, abort. Day checked the ship's systems. He did it. The cleanser is powering down. Now send a message to your hegemony, Jun said. Tell them that Earth is off limits. Tell them that humans remember who they are now. Krell sent the message. His hand shook as he did. What will you do now? He asked when he was done. We'll go home, Hyun said. We'll help other humans wake up. And then, when we're ready, we'll join you among the stars. Not as your subjects, Jun added. Not as your enemies either. As equals. As the ship turned back toward Earth, Jun looked out at the stars. For the first time in 10,000 years, humans were in space again. And this time, they would not forget who they were. The hegemony had sent assassins to keep humanity down. Instead, they had awakened a legend.